What kind of experience would it be to drive an off-road vehicle with metal sea urchin tires? Because regular tires are too slippery in snowy terrain, an imaginative netizen from abroad decided to create 4 metal tires resembling sea urchins. Although they don't look impressive, the actual performance while driving is quite remarkable. When they encounter packed snow, they transform into shredders, with the vehicle running ahead and a trail of snowflakes and crushed ice in its wake. After completing a lap, almost all the spikes on the sea urchins are bent, but it doesn't affect the speed at all. However, in my opinion, this is not the most outrageous part. Although their shape is peculiar, at least they have a sufficiently large volume. And next, this netizen. He went a step further and replaced the tires with saw blades, and when he drives on ice, it leaves deep marks in its wake. If this were on a regular road, it would be a perfect road-destroying vehicle. But let's talk about the most extreme example, where this heartless individual modified a $4 million Bentley into a tank. Just look at the height of those seats. It can crush any SUV in its path. With a powerful engine and hardcore tires, it drives on the road like a real tank. Place 2 scrapped cars in an open field, step on the gas pedal, and it will simply plow through them. The destructive force is unparalleled. What kind of power does it unleash when the tires are replaced with saw blades? This UTV has been equipped with 4 sharp saw blades. The size of the blades is very similar to the original tires, so from a side view, it looks seamless. However, when the camera turns to the front of the vehicle, we can see that even the widest saw blades are only a few centimeters thick. What is the difference when driving this vehicle on the road compared to rubber tires? Firstly, the saw blades are much narrower than rubber tires, which affects stability and reduces the handling limits. Additionally, the material of the saw blades means they offer almost no shock absorption. Combined with direct contact between the saw teeth and the ground, it results in a stronger vibration while driving. If the vehicle is taken off-road onto unpaved surfaces, how does its off-road performance change? On unpaved surfaces, saw teeth have stronger traction than tire treads, so they can maximize acceleration at the moment of takeoff. However, as the speed increases, the effectiveness of the saw blades decreases since the contact area between the teeth and the ground is smaller. If the vehicle is driven at high speeds for a long time, it may encounter problems. Therefore, even on unpaved surfaces, the overall performance of saw blades is not as good as tires. Of course, Sawblade tires have their advantages. For example, installing saw blades on a car can turn it into a cutting tool, and even allow for simple cutting of scrap cars. Although the actual destruction may not meet expectations, the vehicle's sheet metal can be easily cut through. If narrower and sharper saw blades were used, this vehicle would have been sliced open long ago. As you can see, this UTV with Sawblade tires has finally revealed its biggest problem. It easily gets stuck on non-collision surfaces. The rear wheels have deeply dug into the soil after intense rotation. The driver attempts to reverse to get unstuck, but only the front wheels spin freely, while the rear wheels remain immobile. They have no choice but to call for rescue. Getting unstuck is not a difficult process. Let's take a look at the condition of the scrap car. The front door has been cut open and severely deformed. So, the cutting ability of Sawblade tires is indeed formidable. Although the mission of the Sawblade tires is complete, the scrapping work is not finished yet. Next, it's time for the larger-sized UTV to demonstrate its power. It directly targets the front of the scrap car. They push the pedal to the floor, giving it a powerful thrust. The UTV's strength is clearly evident. Undoubtedly, the most anticipated scene is the crushing. No problem, they open the engine compartment of the scrap car. For the tall and robust UTV, it's as easy as pie. Suddenly, a sense of sympathy for the scrap car arises. In the face of the mighty UTV, the sports car becomes incredibly small and weak. Although this car is about to be scrapped, it still feels like it deserves a little kindness. Can you accept a car being violently destroyed? What if we replace tires with saw blades? What would happen if we drive on an icy surface? Foreign experts conducted such an experiment. They created a set of Sawblade tires. They appear to be even more durable than imagined. In the first test, they simply replaced the 2 rear wheels with saw blades. The test took place on an icy surface. Are the saw blades more slip-resistant than tires? If driving at a slow speed, they do provide some slip resistance. But things get tricky when sudden acceleration is involved. The sharp saw blades rotating rapidly cause damage to the icy surface. Instead of providing slip resistance, they result in unnecessary power loss. Furthermore, the saw blades cut through the ice, causing damage to the vehicle and potentially causing accidents. It may even lead to dangerous situations. What would happen if we drove with Sawblade tires on a racetrack? Now let's move on to the track segment. Since the test car is rear-wheel drive, the saw blades are positioned on the driving wheels. With each contact with the icy surface, the saw teeth penetrate into the ice. While this provides some slip resistance, it also creates more resistance. So you can't have the best of both worlds. Additionally, the friction between the saw teeth and the ice causes excessive shaking of the vehicle. Thus, it significantly compromises driving comfort. After completing a lap on the track, the overall impression is Sawblade tires can adapt to driving on icy roads and provide some slip resistance. However, the overall satisfaction is relatively average. After completing a lap of testing, the saw teeth remain sharp as ever. Now let's move on to the second test, which involves replacing all 4 tires with saw blades. If both front and rear tires are saw blades, the resistance during driving will increase. As the resistance on the front wheels increases, the rear wheels have to exert more force. As a result, the rear wheels easily cut through the ice, causing the vehicle to get stuck again. Furthermore, due to loose saw blade screws, an incident of rear axle failure occurs. The test had to be temporarily halted. Although replacing tires with saw blades may look cool, it presents numerous issues during actual usage. Therefore, when driving on icy and snowy roads, it is still advisable to use snow tires or tire chains. Have you ever seen such a peculiar means of transportation? Although it is a car, it only has 2 wheels underneath. And it is precisely this design that raises doubts about its balance. But the experimental results undoubtedly defy expectations. It runs not only smoothly, but can even reach a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. When pushing it by hand, although it sways from side to side, it remains upright and doesn't topple over. It gives the impression of a perpetual motion toy. So how does it maintain its balance? This vehicle can be traced back to the 1960s. By opening the front hood of the car, we can see that it houses a gyroscope in the middle. It is the key to the car's stability. The gyroscope spins at a speed of 3,000 revolutions per minute. Whenever the vehicle is about to lose balance, the gyroscope counter-rotates and brings the handlebars along, thus maintaining a balanced state. The car is 4.7 meters long, 1.2 meters tall, and approximately half the width of a regular car. Despite its peculiar appearance, it performs elegantly in all aspects. However, people still hold some skepticism towards it. No matter how stable a pineapple may be, it only has 2 wheels. In case of strong winds or other unpredictable weather conditions, even if it doesn't topple over, it would require extraordinary stability. The Transportation Department has not approved this vehicle for regular road use. Currently, it is limited to being tested in closed environments.